Last week in Seattle, an actual place, kayaks swarmed an offshore oil rig in protest. The protesters, floating more on hypocrisy than water, likely forgot that kayaks are often made with petroleum, or that the boats were trucked to the stores, not towed by oxen, although that would have been fun. A local bike seller there voiced support, also forgetting that his wheels weren't shipped on the backs of trained elephants. This hypocrisy, the greater goods calling card, masks the aim to dismantle capitalism, an aim that would freak out those sympathetic business owners if they only knew. But consider the original goals of the Green Movement, which is to leave Earth in the same condition for future generations. It's nice. Yet they scar the landscape with ugly windmills like knife wounds on a Mona Lisa. Whoever starts a windmill removal business will make billions once we finally admit how quixotic this renewable fuel really is. Figure out how to remove them, and you'll have a yacht just like Al Gore. Look at Germany, who boasts getting some energy from these windmills, which then forces them to leech off the French for real energy. Comically, the Green Movement talks of keeping the planet pristine, to hand over the planet to the not yet born, a contract between two parties, the living and the not yet here. This is the ultimate hypocrisy. I'm sure if you could survey the unborn, they would prefer the chance for life over the options of solar power. I'll go to you, Julie, because you tend to smirk through that entire thing. I saw that.
Smirked. Smirking the whole time.
Why is offshore drilling somehow worse than puncturing hillsides with a failed renewable energy source?
I don't think it's failed. Solar is not, and wind and solar aren't failed. I think it's a.
Where do you get your facts?
I get the facts.
Silly facts.
From the solar and wind, from the solar and wind energy production company.
You are a shill.
I'm a shill. I'm a shill for them. Look, I do work for them. I do. Every penny I have is made by solar, putting windmills on my property, my vast property.
My windmill is actually powered by solar panels, which is really weird.
Is that why it stands still all the time?
Exactly.
Ooh.
Makes great shade. Where are we?
Solyndra.
KG.
Yeah.
My favorite story.
It is the best story ever. I wish we could keep doing it. It's like Groundhog Day.
But Solyndra?
Solyndra and the government waste and the cronyism. It's one of the prime examples of what's wrong with this administration and your choice.
Mm-hmm. Well, didn't we give a lot of subsidies to oil companies, too? Not just Solyndra?
No,
we never did?
Almost no subsidies.
His other favorite subject.
Really?
Tax breaks aren't subsidies.
Oh, no.
There's a big difference.
That's what he's talking about.
Okay.
When you make your own money and the government takes it and you say you can keep more of your own money, that's not a subsidy.
Only they get tax breaks, but other people don't get tax breaks. Oil companies need them.
I'm for no tax breaks. How's that?
Well, why don't we disagree?
For anybody.
Great, but why don't we
and also
agree
no
that
green
that's
energy, no subsidies, and all that. Let the free market.
He's for the fair tax. He's for the free market.
Right, fair tax. You know, Seattle's jealous. That's what's going on here. Canada has oil. Alaska has oil. Oil shipped down to California, where jobs are created to distribute the oil all over the place. There's fracking in the Midwest. There's Texas. Seattle has basically nothing.
Rain.
They have water. They have rain.
They have coffee.
And so they're mad, and they've become probably the most liberal.
Sleepless.
Seattle has probably become the most liberal city in America. They want they want minimum wages to be $15 an hour. They're complaining about every single green initiative they can possibly get their hands on. I don't know if you're liberal, just go to Seattle.
I love Seattle.
I'm there.
I'm a huge fan of Frasier. What a delightful show, Dana.
So
Was that a
much.
delightful
That was a
show?
great show.
It was a great show. Best thing that ever came out of Seattle.
Niles Crane.
Besides Seattle Slew. Hey, did that come from Seattle?
What?
I have no idea.
What about Nirvana?
Yeah,
I would be
Nirvana,
all for
Kurt
protest.
Cobain.
I would support the protesters if they made a pledge that they rejected everything that was around them that was any way affected by fossil fuels.
Well, I think it's funny that they're in the kayaks because where do you get plastics from? Petrochemicals. I have to ask you something. In that picture, is that a weekday?
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, there's a lot of people there on a weekday out protesting the oil rig.
That's a great point. I wish I had looked that up earlier, but I've been very busy.
Well, yes, I'm sure you have.
Very, very important.
But you know what? I don't think it actually said in the facts and call for.
It was not on a weekday.
Okay, well,
so we can't demonize them on that. We can't say they're a bunch of unemployed activists.
I will give them points for colors. I mean, it was a very colorful protest.
It is. And that's what really matters.
It's a great photograph.
United Colors of Benetton.
Let's get out of here.
Your block is over.
It is, and you're over.
No, I'm not. I'm just starting.
Let's talk about your book.
Okay.